This is everything I own as a minimalist, 92 items. I've been counting everything I own since 2021 for one simple reason. It keeps me honest about how much I actually have. When I can name every single thing I own, I stay intentional. This year, the update is coming a little earlier than usual. We're expecting our first child, so I did one more proper declutter before everything changes. And I wanted to show you the final number now while I still can. I split everything I own into 5 categories, plus storage. And we will go through them step by step. And by the way, I list it all in an app called Stylebook, but more on that later. So let's get straight into it. The first category is my everyday items. 10 little essentials that simply make my daily life easier. First, my futon. It was a gift from my husband and I use it almost every day now. Honestly, it was a lifesaver during pregnancy. It's the only thing I could really sleep well on. It's handmade in Japan, incredibly comfortable and so flexible that I can take it anywhere. I'll even carry it out into the garden to relax on. I completely get why these are such a big deal in Japan. There is generally nothing more comfortable to lie on. If I lived on my own, I think I'd happily just sleep on a futon and nothing else. Then my backpack. It's from Question, made sustainably from banana fiber, and it works just as well for a hike as it does for a business trip. This is my beauty set. Basically, my whole beauty routine for 3 to 5 days. I keep this pouch in my backpack at all times, so I'm always ready to go because we quite often spend a night away. And this is a good moment to explain how I count. These few beauty things used to be separate items on my list, but now they live together as one little kit. So I count them as one. Counting is supposed to give me an overview, not turn into bookkeeping. Next, my umbrella from Muji. Then my horn-rimmed glasses, which I mainly wear for computer work. This is my weighted sleep mask from Notpot. It doesn't just help me sleep, it helps me relax quickly during the day too. Then my earplugs. I used to use a pair from Happy Ears, but I recently replaced them with these custom-made ones from Neurot. They were molded to fit my ears and they're really soft, which makes them perfect for sleeping. My alarm clock is new as well. When I wake up at night, I don't want to reach for my phone and I don't want to be woken by it either, especially with a newborn about to be sleeping next to me. I also swapped my journal. It used to be a regular bound notebook, but now it's a ring binder, so I can tear out the pages with my thoughts, digitize them, and keep the journal fresh and clean. And with it, I have a simple black pen. And then the last item is my card holder, which is also my oldest possession. I got it for my 18th birthday, so it's been with me for 18 years now. The second category is tech, though it's really tech and office because my document folder lives in here too. 8 items in total. First, my document folder where I keep all my important paperwork. Any mail that comes in goes straight in here. I deal with it, scan it and shred anything I don't need to keep. In the pockets at the back, I store the documents I actually need in physical form, plus things like vouchers, drawings, letters, and little keepsakes. Then my charging adapter with 2 cables. That's all I need to charge every single one of my devices. My laptop is my favorite tech item by far. If I could only keep one thing, it would be this, even over my phone. It is where I can really focus and work efficiently. It's an Apple MacBook Pro, the M3 Max. My phone is an iPhone 16 Pro and I've set it up to be really minimal and clean. Only the apps I actually need in a calm look that doesn't distract me. Then my AirPods. I love them for listening to guided meditations, but honestly, I get by without them most of the time now. I never go for a walk with AirPods in, for example. I'd rather take in my surroundings. For filming my YouTube videos, I use the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 Creator Set, including the microphone. The quality of both the mic and the camera is really good. And best of all, it's easy to use and so compact to pack away. It's the first camera I've ever been truly happy with. I also film with this tripod, and again, it's the best one I've ever found. It folds down small like a selfie stick and works as one too. I can mount my iPhone straight onto it without any adapter, or also my camera. And it extends really high, so I can even get shots from above. It's from K&F Concept, and I can highly recommend it. And the last item here is my Nikon Coolpix. Sure, I could technically just use my phone, but I like treating photography as an intentional practice, rather than snapping everything on the side all the time. And the look of the photos with this camera is just perfectly imperfect. I love that vintage feel. The third category is beauty, and it contains 22 items. There is a separate video where I show how I actually use all of these products, my full routine and everything, so I'll link that below. Here is just a quick overview. For my hair, a Dyson hairdryer that I share with my husband. I got it years ago through a collaboration and it's worked flawlessly ever since. The one thing that's changed since my last beauty video is that I've got my straightener back. I'd given it to a friend because for over a year I'd be using a no-heat curler instead. But I lost that one on a trip and I could never get it back. It made me rethink what I actually wanted, and since my hair is really healthy now, I decided to go back to curling it with a straightener about once a week. My friend I'd given it to, she handed it back as she hasn't used it as much as she thought she would. So it was a little win-win. A dry shampoo, the powder kind rather than a spray, which I like because it's more sustainable and it means I don't have to wash my hair as often. A hairbrush that I was given as a gift, and I moved my old one into my travel beauty kit and use this one day to day now. A claw clip for styling and some bobby pins for different hairstyles. For skincare, a natural lip balm made with apricot oil, argan oil for face and body, a moisturiser I also use for both, then my sunscreen, a natural deodorant cream from Nude, and my perfume, Parfum de Marla Delina. For my nails, a small pair of scissors and a mineral file. One of you recommended it and it's really gentle and easy to use. For my teeth, a super soft toothbrush from Meridol, Elmex toothpaste, and the coconut dental floss. And this is my Minimalist makeup collection. A blush, an eyelash curler, concealer, and a brow gel. For hair removal, I have two things. My epilator, a brown silk appeal 7 that I use all over the body, and wax strips for my eyebrows and the little fine hairs on my face. The fourth category is clothing, 25 items. There is also a current wardrobe tour where I show each piece in detail and how I actually wear it, so I'll link that for you. But here is the overview. I have 4 jackets, a trench coat from Burberry, a rain jacket from Hunter, a vintage blazer, and a puffer jacket from Uniqlo that I use for layering. 4 knit pieces. 2 of them are the same oversized knit cardigan, one in pink and one in beige. Then a short cardigan my mom made for me, and a merino zip-up that is especially good for layering. 3 tops. 2 are my basic tops that I wear every day. They even have a built-in bra, and the third is a slightly fancier one. 5 layering pieces that I always wear over my tops, each with a slightly different purpose. A pink muslin shirt, a white cotton shirt, a classic white shirt for business, a crochet cardigan, and a poncho that I can just throw over. 3 pairs of long trousers, my beloved wool trousers that I can wear almost all year round. then a pair of leggings that also work for everyday wear, and a pair of cotton trousers for the hotter days. 2 shorter bottoms, a white skirt, and a pair of white cotton cycling shorts. 2 dresses, a longer one which I can wear all year round and for all different occasions, and then a summer dress. And finally, a set of underwear and a set of socks. Just like before, each set counts as 1 item. Otherwise, it would completely clutter up the app where I actually list everything I own. And there is one question that always comes up when I share my wardrobe. Don't I own any loungewear or pajamas? No, I don't. I do sleep in my husband's t-shirts. For some people that might feel like a bit of a cheat, but for the 2 of us, it works perfectly. The last category is accessories, and we have 20 items here. We'll start with shoes, and I have 4 pairs. I used to have more shoes, but during pregnancy, my feet grew a whole size. So I had to sell some of my old ones. And now I'm down to these 4. A pair of boots for rain and winter, then these comfy sneakers, my Sata ballet flats. Sorry, a couple of them are a bit dirty. I didn't manage to clean everything before filming. And a pair of Birkenstocks. 3 bags, a tote bag, which I'll also use as my diaper bag, then a vintage Louis Vuitton bag for going out, and a banana bag from Uniqlo, mainly for dog walks. I have 7 pieces of jewelry that I keep in this little box. A vintage watch, my wedding and engagement ring, a pair of gold hoops, some larger Swarovski hoops, these pearl drop earrings from Japan, and a fine pearl necklace. On top of that, a delicate necklace and a stud that I always wear. And the last 5 accessories, my sunglasses from Luspex, my bikini, a sun hat, a scrunchie, and a pair of gloves for winter. And that brings me to my final little category, storage. Up to now, I've shown you everything I keep here at home, and that puts me at 85 items. But there are a few more tucked away in my small storage. In this storage, there are 2 pairs of shoes and a skirt that don't fit me right now during pregnancy, but I hope it'll fit again afterwards. And then for winter pieces, I store away simply because they are bulky, and that way I have a bit more space day to day. And that brings us to the end of the category, which is the perfect moment to finally show you the app that I keep mentioning, Stylebook. It was actually recommended by one of you. It's really meant for cataloging your wardrobe, but we completely repurpose it here to list everything I own. And I've split it into different sections here. Now, for everything I own, I always focus on the thing that belong to me personally. And I want to explain why, because I think it matters. One of the biggest mistakes I see people making is believing that they cannot live minimally because they share a home or because they have a kid or a dog or whatever it is. But what I would really encourage you to do is to focus on your own things, exactly like I've done it in this video, because that's where you have all the power. You can't always control what comes into a shared home, but you can always be intentional about what's yours. That said, I'm not hiding the rest. I also keep a list of the shared items that my husband and I own and a small list for our baby. So here are the numbers. My personal belongings come to 92. Our shared items came down to 118. We also decluttered quite a bit before the baby arrives. And for the baby, we currently have 54 items listed, though only 5 of those are actually ours. Everything else is borrowed. Honestly, listing borrowed things is really useful too, because then you always know exactly what you have and what needs to go back. And that's it. That was an overview of everything I own as a minimalist in 2026. By the way, next week I'll show you some of the things I've decluttered recently, so make sure to come back for that. I'd love to hear what you think of this video, whether you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye!